What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Last Cast Adventures. A little bit different. I'm going to be a mechanic today. As you guys know who's been watching the channel, I have a 1999 Suzuki two-stroke now, and the guy before me did not really take care of it. And you ask me, what does that mean exactly? Well, this is the old thermostat. I was having issues with it overheating. That was the old one. And this is the new one. So, I mean, just a side-by-side comparison, you can kind of tell the difference, that there's some things missing. Also needed a new gasket to go over that, because like in the picture I'm showing you right now, it was pretty bad. So while that was off, I decided to say, you know, this part right here, this is the cavity it goes in, it's all dirty. So I was like, you know what, let me get up in here and try to do that. Well, when I started taking off this gasket part right here, which on this model is actually a two-piece part, I came across a gasket, which is in the picture, that is obviously no longer good. So I had to order a new one, and that's what we're going to be doing, is installing that right now. So hope this helps you guys if you have an older engine model. I'm making it up as I go along and kind of just YouTubing it and Googling it and talking to local mechanics and figuring it out. With that being said, let's get started. Alright, so this part should be relatively easy. I just have to match up everything. So I'm going to get the spark plug parts out of the way and match this up. Currently I have it upside down. So now we're going to match it up. Everything matches up correctly, which is pretty sweet, actually. So that's just the gasket that goes in there, and it's supposed to direct the flow of water and everything. Now there was one part, where did I put it? Right here. This part is down here in that little area. No idea what it does or what it's from, but I didn't get a new one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that back in its place, which I think was, I guess, on the outside? Or was it on the inside? Might have been on the inside. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go with that. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go ahead and put that there and just basically say that that old piece is gonna be there, because I don't even know what that piece is. So that part's done. So I have two main bolts that hold it in, and since I'm also having issues with my trim down here, I'm doing everything from a elevated point of view. But first off, I got this bolt right here, which for me is a 9/16. At least that's the closest one I got. And the other one's going to be this smaller bolt here, which is a 10 millimeter. So that's probably a millimeter as well, but I just don't have it on there. So that's going to be for the main gasket part here, putting this part back in. So I'm going to clean off all the bolts here, add some of this marine grease to it, so to make my life easier next time, and let's get to work. Alright, so basically I'm just putting a little bit of this on the threads and then going ahead and putting that over. Now the one issue I had with this was this little part right here, which is, I believe, to help lock the cowling in, top cover. This part right there had to go right there, or maybe the other direction. Maybe it was like that. Either way, it was in the way of this bolt going into place right there, so I had to take that out. So that was a little extra step. Probably easier to just take the hose out of the way, but I'm just going to leave it. But alright, so now you can see this part goes right there, and now I can freely get to, well, I guess I can't get to those heads. Okay, well anyway, this part goes in last at some point. But yeah, all those pieces go there. There's more what I meant. Now I got that in place. I got those two bolts there, and I got these ones keeping it up here. So now it's just screwing everything back in. And then I got these ones here So you're gonna go right there and hold both of these together. And I'm gonna have a small one, which goes right here and holds the hose right here. So I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. Okay, so normally I wouldn't advise using super glue to keep something in place, but that's not getting anywhere. It's not getting any traction, and I don't know when the next time I'm going to have to do this. So I'm going to put a little bit of super glue right around here just to basically hold it in place. It's temporary, but whatever. So now that we got that whole thing in order, okay, go ahead and work on the thermostat. So that's what the new one looks like. I'll show you what the old one looks like. And to my understanding, you should just pretty much, there we go, fit right in, just like that. I'm going to take these fitted parts on that gasket, put it right there, and I apologize, my hands are up in the way, but yeah. Anyway, match that up, and now the same thing, got all the screws here, sorry, mosquito, gonna clean them up, add some grease, and put them back on. Alright, there we go, got that part on, now just the spark plugs back in. One that doesn't know, it's the same thing, just get a socket that's big enough for it, and just put it in until it is tight. And tighten it just a little bit, and don't get it stuck like that. So my hands are all oily, and there we go. Now it's in place. Okay, so now we have changed the thermostat, we've changed the head gasket, which is connecting to both. We have changed the spark plugs, which I had already had those changed, but now I have gotten it. And now the engine's put back together. So now we just need to run some water and see if it works. Anyone wondering what this little part is, I think this is water pumps of sorts. It did not come connected, and I have absolutely no idea where it connects to, so I just kind of put it there, and that's a later problem. So now we've got the hose connected, got a lot of water running through it, got a nice pea stream going. So I'm going to start her up. Haven't ran her in like a week. Alright, that's about normal. Let's try again. That'll do it for me for now. I just need to work on the trim next. Alright guys, so here we're changing these trim cylinders. When I put some more fluid up in here, it started to leak out right here, which means these are bad, need to be changed, and hopefully that's all that there is left. So this fancy little wrench, put it here in the holes, and you twist them loose. However, mine were on there very tight, so I did have to take it to a mechanic and have them use a much better tool than what I got on Amazon and pop it loose. So now they're a lot easier to do, and well, we're gonna change them out. One important part that the guy at the mechanic told me, see this right here, a little paint, you got a little paint right there too, said mark it. That way when you start to turn it, this one will shift, as you can see right there, and you want that to line up, so when it goes up to here, they match up the same way again. So do that first before you really start taking this off. Anyone wondering, it looks like this. So you just stick it in the holes, you fit it up to the right spot, and you just twist. Alright, so we got the new one here. Clean, nice looking. We got the old one here. Seal's broken, sharp, and yeah. Apparently there's little like divots on here where it's scratched into the surface. I'm gonna have to clean that up. Use a little bit of sandpaper, very fine, and then petroleum jelly. So we'll see what happens. Now this is in order to save this, and I'll have to get a new one. That's a cheap way around it, I guess. There you go. You don't want to go too much, because if you go too much, then you'll mess up the underneath part, and then if it's in salt like mine is, then it could be an issue. Put that little one right there. That's definitely a lot better. Let's move on to the next one. Now, the best of my knowledge, pretty much got all the little nicks out, so now I just need to go and put them in and see what happens. Alright, so now according to a mechanic I went and talked to, he said petroleum jelly Vaseline is what you do next. So you take it and you coat pretty much everything inside there, all up and down here, and then you stick it back in. So we're going to coat it and then put it back into place. He's saying the reason for the Vaseline is because the petroleum jelly is that it actually breaks down and it won't get in your gas or get in anywhere electronic, whereas the marine grease has a tendency to build up. So I don't know, I guess it's a mechanic's trick. I haven't heard it before, but I'm trying it out because they haven't proved me wrong yet. So let's get to putting her in. I'm gonna stick this part in first, keep it lined up with that part being on the top, and then I'm gonna slide this part down as well and then work on screwing it back into place. Okay. Slide that on nice and easy, and then work on lining that part up like that. Take the tool and hold the one in place while I start to twist this into place. I was having the issue of what felt like cross threading. I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized that this part right here was too far out. There was too much fluid sitting in here. So as soon as I pushed that one in, a ton of fluid started falling out of there right into my catch tray. So maybe this one will work now, but I wasn't getting any traction because when I pulled it out, and of course that part kind of looks broken, there was just too much fluid in there. So don't do the fluid beforehand, I guess, because it doesn't work or it causes issues. As I work on fitting this piston back in, it actually pushes that one back out because of all the equalizing the pressure. So remember, I'm trying to keep this part up here on top, and then that'll match up with that part right there and hopefully not make noise. So I'm gonna try to screw these in. Alright, now that I got that part in and enough fluid out, it is going on there just like it should. Now I'm looking at that one and I'm thinking, yep, that's gonna need to be changed here soon. But who's got money for that right now, right? Not me. Alright, so now I got them both snug in there. Should be alright. Now I'm gonna fill this little reservoir up, which I don't get why this part's on this side, because it feels like you're wasting all this extra space. But I don't know, I didn't make it, so I'm gonna take off this cap just with some pliers here. Well, some way or another I will, one-handed. Alright, got a little loose. Okay. Put the cap up here so I don't lose it. I'm going to add power trim and steering fluid right into there. We'll work on doing the next part. Take this part off. Well, I gotta raise the engine, flip this up, and then try to get all the air bubbles out by lifting the engine up and down, up and down. So, we'll see how that works. Alright, so now I have changed both of these, and I have reinstalled fluid in here. This part, well, I won't worry about till later on. So, anyway, you got this automatic raise right here. Just gonna lift the engine up. Lift that there. There we go. Alright, I got my cut straight here. So no fluid leaking. Now we're gonna go up, and hopefully it works. Okay, not completely smooth, not completely the best. Probably could use a little more fluid in here. And one thing I found out that I was having trouble with is these weren't going up at all. You know, I wouldn't be able to raise it. The engine would kind of raise, and then it would stop like right here, and then go like here, and then it would just stop. And then I couldn't get it past this little area over here to actually raise the bar. It wouldn't go past that. So I went to the mechanics and I was like, hey guys, like, you know, this is what I got going on. So the mechanic told me, you know, you unscrew the reservoir, you start squeezing in the bottle of the power steering fluid or the trim fluid. At the same time, you're hitting the button to raise it. And what that does is that actually bleeds out any of the air in there. Not really professional on doing the air. I've just been kind of having to manually release it here and kind of lift the whole engine up and down, which is an absolute pain in the butt to do by yourself, and then lock it into place. And that actually, I could hear all the liquid and stuff being pushed around in there, but then it actually started working again. So see how it's still squeaking? I think I'm going to add a little bit more in, and all I'm going to do by that is just take off the cap and then try to squeeze in more there. But as you can see, it's working now. This is a lot better than how I had it before. These parts are all new, so hopefully they should stay for a while. And yeah, hopefully this doesn't go anytime soon. And hopefully I really don't have to change this anytime soon, because those parts are actually discontinued. This part anyway is for me in this particular engine model, so that's an issue. But yeah, other than that, everything else should be good. So thanks guys for tuning in. I hope that was able to help you. There's not a lot of videos out here on these particular engines, at least this old. So I kind of had to make it up, had to go talk to local mechanics. Yeah, boys and their toys, and then Real Impact down here in the lower keys. And they were very helpful, very close to where I'm at, so that definitely helped. But they're just wealth of knowledge. So if you can't find it on forums, if you can't find it on YouTube, you know, your engine's having issues, look it up, try to get an idea what it is, and then go to your local mechanics, guys. One, they like the business, because if you need a part, you're more than likely gonna have to order it from them, so obviously that's a given. And then you know, if you need any information, any help, any tips, anything like that, they're gonna have it, because that's what they do. They work on it, they can give you ideas, and then you can go from there. So hopefully this helped you guys though, or at least gave you an idea of where to start and where to look. And if you guys are into fishing at all, which probably most of you boat owners are, the rest of the channel is fishing, spear fishing, and just a lot of other stuff I run into. So hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully this helps you guys figure out what to do when your boat's going all wonky and whatnot. So thanks guys.